Back again with another video. This video was asked a while back to be made about St.Expedite. St.Expedite, okay. I'm gonna go over some things real quick because this is one of the things that could take hours to go over. What we know about St.Expedite here in New Orleans, he was a Roman centurion that was beheaded in 303 for turning to Catholicism, turning Catholic. As you see on this little statue that I have that I use, it's Latin up here. In Latin it says today. And down here at his foot is a representation of a crow. In Latin it says tomorrow. Okay. Meaning he wanted to turn to Christianity. Today, as the story goes, Satan came out in the form of a crow and was telling him, no, do it tomorrow, put it off. And he stepped on the crow and killed it. Now, just because my little statue has a crow, there's some that has a snake, and some of the prayer cards have a snake, some of the image candles have snakes or crows. It's not, you know, it's just the same thing, Satan, snake, crow. Here in New Orleans, 2 large crates years ago, now I'll be referring to notes, and I rarely do this because this is going to be really confusing with the saint, was brought to Our Lady of Guadalupe Church here in New Orleans. It was 2 crates. They dropped them off at the church. They opened the first crate. It was a statue of the Virgin Mary, which they had commissioned to be made. They opened the second crate that just said Expedite on it. It was St. Expedite in it, well, the statue that was actually in it. And they thought that was a canonized saint that the Vatican sent to them, commissioned them, and sent it to them. They didn't know that this statue wasn't even a saint. Even to this day, he's not canonized. His statue is still in the Guadalupe Church here in New Orleans, which is strange because the Vatican years later found out that this statue was in the church. Now this is like a, if you ever been in New Orleans, you've seen it's like a, what, 6-foot statue. I mean, it's a real big marble statue. It wanted to be removed, and the bishop at that church at that time said this figure has become so well known here in New Orleans, it would be in the Vatican's best interest to leave it here. And the Vatican backstepped and backpedaled and left it. To this day, it's still at that church. That's something to say about when the Vatican backpedals on a decision. He's still not a canonized saint. Everyone here in New Orleans recognizes him as a voodoo saint. Now he's around the world. And this is what I'd like to say to any voodooizans out there watching this with Haitian descent or culture. I know he's used in Haiti. I would like to know how he started there as he started here in New Orleans. I mean, I've sat down with voodooizans here in New Orleans and with my family members in Miami. And the only thing we could come up with, it maybe it was a plan to do it. And if not, he was commissioned to go somewhere and he just got misdelivered. But then his name started spreading out. Okay, that's some history on St. Expedite himself. I did a lot of research on this before I got on this video. The St. Expedite prayers that you find behind the St. Expedite prayer cards, the vaulted candles, even online, they're all worded the same, which I'm okay with if it's all worded the same. I mean, one person sat there and wrote it, I don't know how long ago, and it's the same words. So it's safe to say you can use that. In the, I don't know if you've used them before, in the prayer, it has a blank to say what you want, what you're petitioning for. This is where it gets tricky, and it's not said on any of the, only on one website I found. And I've snuck into a couple of botanicas and stuff. People didn't know me, and I asked them about it, and they said, yes, just say your petition, what's on the card, or here's a card that you say, or you can go online and get it. Since he was beheaded, a lot of people say he's dim-witted. I don't like to use that word for living or dead. I don't like that word dim-witted. That insults a human being. Just saying that to be a Roman centurion back in the day, which he was. A Roman centurion back then was what today we'd consider Navy SEALs, Green Berets, Army Rangers, Marine Force Recon, Delta Force. A centurion in the Roman Empire was a police officer. They didn't have police departments in the Roman Empire. They sent the centurions out to uphold the law. Okay, back what I was saying, right off topic. When you make your petition, if you're making a petition, you need money to pay a bill. Okay? You say the petition, but they don't tell you, and only one website I've seen said it, you have to be very, very careful what you say. There is 2 instances I'm going to pass on to you. I can't confirm, I can't put my finger on the documents. Doesn't mean it's not true. I like to have documents to back up the shit I'm saying. One time a petition was made out that a young mother needed X amount of dollars, $500, $600 to pay bills. She didn't have the money. She went to St.Expedite. It said a week or two later, she got a call that one of her aunts had passed away, left her in a will. There was her money. That's what I'm saying. You have to be specific, okay? Because he had his head cut off. He's not thinking straight anymore. He will do what's asked, but he's not thinking straight. The other instance that I heard of and cannot confirm is a young man went to St.Expedite, asked him to have his girlfriend that he'd had for many years stop sneaking out, playing around with other men, laying with other men. She got in an auto accident, wrapped her car around a tree, became paralyzed for the rest of her life from the waist down, cannot have any sexual gratification anymore. You see where I'm going with this? Have to be specific. If you're going to make a petition to him, okay, be specific. If you're wording for money, say what you need, the amount you need, and you may want to ask. It's just me. I'm just suggesting this, you know. Not to harm anyone I love or anyone I know for me to receive this. Okay? If you're going to St.Expedite to say to lose weight, okay? Say it in a way, say the petition that's written, because I said it's all I'm worried about the same, so I can live with that. I mean, that came from one person, nobody else put their own goddamn nuance in it. But be sure if you want to lose weight, say something like, may I lose my weight as I would shed sweat on a summer's day. I mean, you may want to lose weight, and he answers your petition and slaps you with leukemia, cancer, AIDS. You're going to lose weight, all right? Anything. Be very specific of what you're saying. Okay? Now, St.Expedite is St.Expedite. Okay? Here in New Orleans, here's a representation. Everybody says Baron Samedi, but mostly it's Baron Lacroix. Okay? Now, if you're doing this to connect with one of the barons, and I know he's used in Haiti too, once again, they say Baron Samedi, maybe Baron Lacroix, Bocors, Hougans, Mambos. When they go to use him as a representation of Baron Samedi or Lacroix, they go to the cemetery to present their petition like a trial, a court case. It's called an expedition. Okay, see where I'm going with this one too? But if you're going to do that, you cannot buy the statue, the card, the candle, sit it down, and start rattling off shit to one of the barons. It don't work like that. You're talking to an inanimate object. You're talking to St.Expedite. That's as far as it's going. To connect with the Gede, things has to be done. Okay? There's certain things that has to be done for the image to become representation of one of the barons. I mean, we can argue all day. Baron Samedi, Baron Lacroix, however you want to do it. I'm not going to tell you how to do that. That's some secrets I'm not putting out. Okay? Maybe a Botanica or one of the voodoo stores may tell you how to do it. There are some honest places that you ask them that's what you want. You want to take St.Expedite, especially here in the city, and you want to connect with one of the barons, Samedi or Lacroix. They will do certain things to it that when they present it to you, now you are connected with one of the barons. You can just purchase it and ask what to do. There's certain things you can do. Blow cigar smoke on it if you're just using St.Expedite. blow some cigar smoke on it, maybe spray it with some rum, spray it with some holy water. Then you're connecting with St.Expedite. Trying to use it for one of the barons, and you're talking to St.Expedite or an inanimate object. I suggest to ask first before you do that. Okay? But using St.Expedite, that's cool. I mean, he's known now worldwide as a voodoo saint. I'd like to think it started here in New Orleans, but I don't know. His fame and fortune and reputation went out worldwide. I know he's used in Haiti. That's why I like a voodoo he's on, or somebody from the culture of Haiti to either make a comment or shoot me a video or something to let me know exactly if I'm on track there or not, because as you know, I said before, I don't like saying shit that's wrong. I don't like saying things that I can't put my finger on documentation. So what I'm reading down here is from my own grimoire that's been written years ago, and it's just about as vague, passed through my family as other things, because he's so vague. Nobody can go back and find out what was his name as a Roman centurion. I mean, what, 303? That's many years, and I mean the Romans kept good records, but really. And that's about it on that. I mean, the only thing I can tell you what's not said on the records, on the webs, in the voodoo stores, the botanicas, be specific, okay? He'll come through for you, but you didn't tell him how to come through for you, okay? I hate to see y'all say, I need money to pay this bill, and your mama or daddy drop down with a heart attack or get killed, cancer, car wreck or something, and they got left in your will. There's a petition, you didn't say how to do it. Now when he comes through, okay, you don't put no offerings in front of him on your altar, except you can go on the website. I've checked it before. I've looked at many altars. They're all the same. So somebody did it the first time and did it right. It's a very simple triangle altar. Statue, the vaulted candle, or the prayer card, a cross, and some water. And they'll tell you how to set it up. It's in a triangle shape. I've looked them over. Once I've seen 15 that look about the same, somebody put it out the same way as it is this petition. That's pretty much right. So it's safe to do that. You never give him any alcohol or anything like that. Okay? Now, if you're using them as a representation of one of the barons, of course, rum, cigars, things like the baron likes. When the petition has been answered, simple, pound cake with some coins. It'll tell you what to do. I've read them all. It's all the same. This was passed down from my grandparents. Pound cake, the same thing. They say Sara Lee pound cake. Back in the day, it wasn't Sara Lee. It was something that you had to make because they didn't have stores to go to. So any decent pound cake. And don't be cheeky. Don't take a piece of pound cake and put it on there. Buy the whole pound cake and put it in front of it. It tells you what to do with the coins. Then you have to go out and proclaim his name. I found out just telling people, take pen and paper, write something about St.Expedite, that he will help all situations. Tear it off into small sheets, about 10 of them. Take some paper off. You go to the stores, go to the pamphlet section, someplace where mothers or someplace like that, and tape it on the bottom so when they buy it, they look up and they'll see it. You're proclaiming his name. Okay? That's all he asks. I know it's a fast video. This thing can take a while with St.Expedite. If you have any questions, leave comments. I'll answer them. I just want to warn people about saying these petitions. That's right. But for some reason, they didn't add, or maybe they didn't know. Please be specific. I mean, he will come through, but maybe not the way you want. I mean, did you need that money that bad to pay your bills, to lose either your mother, your father, your brother, your sister, nana, uncle, to receive this money? You want your girlfriend or your boyfriend to quit playing around? Is it worth them getting in an accident and they snapping their spine so they can't walk the rest of their life or have sex the rest of their life? Is that what you really want? As in a lot of these spirits, especially with this one, be specific, okay? If you have any questions in the comments, please leave them at the bottom. I'll try to answer them. This is a very confusing subject for this saint. It's confusing until you figure out what it is. So, as always, I hope this is helpful. Like, share, and subscribe.